What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today, we are here to take a look at this 2020 Corvette C8 Convertible. I've gotten a ton of requests from you guys to review this vehicle. I know I'm not the first, but I finally got it, and I still wanted to take an in-depth look at this beautiful car. I think this is a magnificent piece of engineering, especially for the money. Now, there are two major factors here for this C8 generation that are first. First of all, we all know that from the C7, which was a front engine vehicle, to the C8, we are now going to a mid rear engine configuration. That is a huge deal and truly just takes the performance of the Corvette to the next level. The next major feature that we're seeing for the first time from Corvette is a fully automatic retractable hardtop. So it's giving you that security and convenience and still maintains those lines that you saw in the C8 Coupe. This is a stunning vehicle. Now, for the base price, the performance you're getting is absolutely insane. For all of you who are familiar with this car, you know the base price for the C8 Corvette Coupe is under $60,000. That is unheard of for the performance that you're getting. This particular vehicle costs around $83,000. So this is a convertible that's roughly a $7,000 upcharge. You're also getting the 2LT package and then the Z51 performance package as well. So the price for this particular vehicle is around $83,000. Now this color is called Long Beach Red and it's finished in a beautiful natural leather interior. The interior is also taking up another level from the C7. So everything about this particular vehicle is better than the generation before it. So today, let's take a look at the exterior and the interior details of this all new 2020 Corvette C8 Convertible and see how this ride has been engineered for excellence. To me, when you look at the front of the C8, it has this nasty, aggressive look to it, but you can still see that Corvette DNA. Obviously, there are some significant changes here. The hood is a lot shorter, or should I say frunk, since this is now the mid-engine configuration. So underneath the frunk, you're gonna get storage enough for a carry-on piece of luggage if you're going to take a flight somewhere. There's also LED lighting on the storage compartment and a power outlet as well. Now coming back to the top, look at this aggressive styling. I love how dramatic the lines are on the front of this vehicle. When you see it from the front, you can tell that this is an aggressive performance vehicle that can truly handle its business on the track. Now coming over to the headlamps, of course, they're fully LED. Also, you have the LED daytime running lamps. And again, I like how they're just defined by the sharp and aggressive lines. Now coming lower, on either side of the front, you'll notice you have two massive radiators tucked in the front of the car. And then if you look closer, you'll see on the front and the center portion, there are two ducts that channel air from the front of the vehicle to the wheels to help cool your brake rotors. That is part of the Z51 performance package, and it's really a nice touch. This is just a remarkable machine. Now coming lower on the front, of course, you have a front splitter. And to protect that front splitter, there are two cameras placed on the lower portion of the front that give you a high definition view for when you're parking to make sure you don't hit any curbs. So there's no reason to damage that front splitter. But what I really like about Corvette is how they think about their customer base and go out their way to make everything affordable. Notice this front splitter is simply made out of plastic. It's not made out of carbon fiber. So if you hit something, it's not gonna shatter into a million pieces and cost you $7,000 to replace like a lot of other exotics on the market. Let's go ahead and check out the side profile. When it comes to the side profile of this new Corvette C8 Convertible, this is my favorite angle to look at this vehicle. You have to admit, it is stunning. I know the styling is a little bit more European than what we're used to, but this is something I definitely like. This is a good change. So starting at the front, that aggressive styling continues from the front all the way down the side profile with these sharp lines and then these aggressive intakes on either side of the car. I love how the door handles have been hidden underneath these flared sides. That really looks nice. Now coming further back, again, sharp lines going all the way to the rear of the vehicle. And I love this buttress design that holds that retractable hardtop. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. Now, when it comes to the wheels, you're getting a staggered setup. This is Chevy's 5 open spoke design. Your wheels are 19 inches in the front and 20 inches in the rear. They're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S summer tires that come with the Z51 package, 245 up front, 305 in the rear. Now your brake rotors are going to be 13.6 inches up front and 13.8 inches in the rear. But overall, the side profile of this vehicle is just truly stunning. Now, I definitely want to talk to you guys about the retractable hardtop. Now, for whatever reason, probably a safety concern, Chevy has it so you cannot raise the top using the key fob. You can only lower the top using the key fob. So let me hop in and show you how it works. So I'll just pull up on the button that's located on the door panel to raise the top. So the top goes up fairly seamlessly and smoothly. Takes about 16 seconds to operate and can be done at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. I love how it has that compact two-piece design, goes up really nice, and there's even a window in the back that can be lowered while the top is up so you can hear that upgraded exhaust system. That's really neat. So it's just that simple. So this top is composed of magnesium instead of aluminum. So why is that? Well, magnesium is 33% lighter than aluminum. And since this is the highest point of the car, we don't want to negatively impact our CG. Overall, the convertible top mechanism adds about 77 pounds to the vehicle when compared to the C8 Coupe. Let's go ahead and drop the top. So I can drop the top using the remote. There you go, the process starts. Love how this piece comes up and then again breaks down into two sections. It takes 6 motors to make this happen smooth and seamlessly. So it's a really nice feature. One of my favorite features about the all-new Corvette. That is just a stunning design. And again, I love the buttresses that echo the 2 seats. That just looks nice and makes it look really aggressive from the back. So we've covered details on the retractable hardtop, but I want to talk to you about the power plant. Now, obviously, again, this is a mid-engine configuration with a retractable hardtop configuration. So showing you the engine itself is not happening. If you want to see the engine and own this car, you have to go with the C8 Coupe and you'll be able to see that through the rear glass, which is pretty neat in itself. But this design overall is just truly amazing. I actually showed it to a few people and they were shocked that having a mid-rear engine configuration sports car and a retractable hardtop in one was possible. But we've seen this technology for quite some time now. We first saw it back in 2010 when Ferrari released the 458 Spider, and then we also see McLaren using it in a couple adaptations of their vehicle as well. And now Chevrolet has taken on this design and executed it beautifully as well. So the top sits directly over the power plant. That is just, it's awesome to me. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, how on earth do you access the engine if this retractable hardtop mechanism sits above the engine? So what you have to do is raise the top, and then as you start to lower it, this piece will raise up and you will see a plate that has some screws that allow you to remove that plate and access the engine for maintenance. So that's pretty slick how they incorporated that design. Now the power plant itself is a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 giving you 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it has a dry sump lubrication system. You guys know what this car is about with the track handling. Now, this power plant is connected to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. 0 to 60 occurs in about 2.9 seconds. Some people have gotten it as low as 2.8 seconds. That is absolutely insane for a vehicle that costs under 100 grand. You have to look at the competition here. How much does a McLaren 720S cost? How much does a Ferrari F8 Tributo cost? You're talking $300,000 here. This is an $83,000 vehicle, and that 0 to 60 time is quite commendable by anyone's standards. When it comes to the rear, of course, you're getting that aggressive styling that you saw up front and along the side profile of the vehicle translate to the rear. Now, the rear has been quite controversial for some people, but overall, I think it carries on well with the overall theme of the vehicle. Now, of course, you're getting LED lights in the back. Again, a nice and angry look to the back of the vehicle. And then coming lower, you have a diffuser with quad exhaust tips that have been moved out to the side for the C8. Typically, we're used to seeing it in the center of the back on Corvettes of the past, but overall, it looks really nice. Now, of course, you have a multi-plane deck lit spoiler and an upgraded dual mode exhaust system, which is part of the Z51 package. Now, when it comes to storage, the Corvette C8 is quite practical. Even though this is a mid-rear engine configuration, you still have plenty of storage here, enough for 2 golf bags. So this is a car that you could take on a weekend getaway and then also take to the track. Now, this lid itself is soft closing, so you just bring it down and then it sucks it in and locks it. That's a pretty neat feature. Let's go ahead and listen to the exhaust system and then talk about some driving dynamics of this vehicle. When it comes to the handling of the C8 Corvette, there are quite a few factors that impact the driving dynamics that I want to talk to you guys about. So first I want to talk about the suspension system, weight and weight distribution, and of course the Z51 package, which we mentioned quite a few times. So when it comes to the suspension system, that's going to affect your handling and ride quality, and it's what makes this car extremely versatile. So this Corvette is optioned with the available magnetorheological suspension system. And how it works is it uses a magnetorheological fluid which is subjected to a magnetic field via the use of an electromagnet. Now that electromagnet is able to help that magnetorheological fluid change its behavior, meaning change its yield strength. So it's able to help that fluid change the way it's able to transmit force, which directly impacts your ride quality. Now when it comes to weight, the C8 Corvette weighs nearly 200 pounds more than the outgoing C7. Well, why is that? Well, there's a long list of reasons for that. First of all, you have the dual clutch transmission. That weighs more than the 7-speed manual and 8-speed automatic of the outgoing Corvette C7. You also have a larger cooling system, a more robust lubrication system. You have larger rear wheels. The rear wheels are an inch wider. You also have a new regulatory market because this is going to be right-hand drive in other countries. So there are different aspects and characteristics that have been designed within the vehicle that help support that right-hand drive. All those factors add a weight of nearly 200 pounds. Now, the weight distribution of the outgoing C7 was nearly 50-50, but since this is a mid-rear engine configuration, your weight distribution up front is going to be 39.4%, and in the rear is going to be 60.6%. So the entire setup of this car is completely different, but you're getting excellent handling, especially when it comes to launches. That's why you're getting those crazy 0 to 60 times, because all that weight, 60% of the weight, is on that rear axle. Now let's talk a little bit about the Z51 package. I want to talk to you about who is it for? Is it something you need? So to determine if you need the Z51 package, you really need to have a conversation surrounding aerodynamics. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about drag. Drag is essentially what you feel when you stick your hand out of a moving vehicle. It's that resistance that tries to push your hand back. Now I went to a school called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and there I had a professor named Professor Gupta. He was a tough guy, and he drilled in our heads that a drag coefficient is defined by a dimensionless quantity used to quantify the resistance of an object in a fluid environment. That fluid environment could be air or water. This is not a submarine, so obviously our fluid environment is air. The drag coefficient on this C8 Corvette is about 0.32 without the Z51 package. Now with the Z51 package, it's going to be around 0.38 or 0.39. I say all that to say this. It really depends on what you want and what you're doing with this vehicle. If you're one of those guys who likes to do drag races or go to those go fast events, you probably should not get the Z51 package because you want to focus more on getting that top speed. Now, if you're a track guy who loves to take these cars to the track over the weekends and you want to be the quickest around turns and set those quickest lap times, you want to get the Z51 package because that's going to provide you with additional downforce with the splitter and this deck lid spoiler there. That's going to get you an additional 400 pounds of downforce. Now that downforce is going to allow you to take turns at a higher rate of speed, making you one of the quickest on the track. So the Z51 package is priced at around $6,000, and you really need to make sure you know what you're going to be using this vehicle for. If you're going to take this down a runway, leave the Z51 package alone. You want high speed, low drag. If you're going to take this to the track, you're going to want that downforce and be the quickest by ripping through curves at high rates of speeds. So what exactly does the Z51 package include? Well, that includes the ducts in the front that we mentioned that channel air directly to the front brakes. It also includes a third radiator that's hidden in the side intake that works with the 2 radiators up front. It also includes an electronic limited slip differential, an additional 5 horsepower, and a dual mode exhaust and more. So that's coming in at about $6,000. So the overall top speed of the Corvette C8 with the Z51 package, that's with increased drag and downforce for superior handling on the track, is going to be 184 miles per hour. Now, if you lose the Z51 package, that's going to lower your drag coefficient back to 0.32. Your top speed is going to be 194 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. When it comes to the interior of this new Corvette C8, you will truly be amazed. If you remember Corvettes of the past, you would get acres and acres of cheap plastic on the interior. but not for this C8. It is just covered in smooth leather. So this leather interior is called Natural. These seats are the GT2 bucket seats that feature 3 levels of heating, 3 levels of cooling, and carbon fiber accents. I really like them. They also have adjustable lumbar support and adjustable side bolsters as well. So you're getting all the creature comforts that we've always wanted to see in Corvette, finally in this C8. These seats truly fit you like a glove. Starting at the top of the dash is covered with black and natural leather with contrast stitching as well. Now I will say this, when you spec out your Corvette, be careful not to put light leather on the dash because you will always see it in the reflection on the windshield. So that's something you will have to live with. I've had this car for about a week and I've noticed in all types of lighting, I will always see this natural leather reflected on the windshield. So you really want to go with a black or another dark color when it comes to the dash. Coming lower, you have an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, phone and navigation apps, Wi-Fi hotspots, your performance data recorder, which you would expect in a car of this caliber. So it's really easy to use and intuitive. I will say I wish the screen was a little bit bigger. There's a lot of black unused space that surrounds the screen, but overall it is fairly responsive and has the latest and greatest technology that you need. Now below the infotainment system, you have your air conditioner, and then there's also a selector for your different driving modes. Now the gear selector is interesting. You have to push in for park, pull back for reverse, push in for neutral, pull back for drive, and push in to drive in manual mode. So there's a lot going on there, but you do get used to it as you drive this car more often. Further back in the center console, you have 2 cup holders, and then this large array of buttons, what everybody is talking about here. Now I will say that there are 3 different toggles here that you can feel while driving. So the first toggle is for the driver's side temperature and air conditioning controls, and then the second toggle is for your fan speed, and then the third toggle is for the passenger side temperature controls. Now over time you will get used to this, so it really hasn't been a problem. But if you want to find buttons like your heated seats and air conditioning seats, you have to look to be able to press those. So it could be a little distracting while you're driving. You could do it while stopped. Now you will get used to these buttons, but one thing I will say is every time you have a passenger in this car, they're gonna ask you, well, how do I adjust my temperature? How do I turn on the heated seats? So that's something that you're gonna have to be prepared to tell people when they sit in this car with you. Further back in the console, there is additional storage, and then there's a wireless charging docking station there. I don't know how you're supposed to put your phone back there. I mean, it's a little inconvenient to reach, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, I don't know how you do that. You're probably gonna have to put your phone inside the car before you get in the car, but you definitely have to remember to take it out. So it's something that's easy to forget because it's located behind you. Further back, there is a speaker with the Corvette logo incorporated into the design. I think that's really neat. I love the attention to detail there. And of course, the retractable rear window, you can drop it if you want to hear that noise from that 6.2 liter V8 if you have the top up, or if you have the top down, you can use it as a wind deflector as well. Coming over to the steering wheel, it has that squircle shape. I've gotten used to it over time. It feels good in your hands. The leather feels high quality. Of course, you have the contrast leather at the top and the contrast stitching. And then behind the steering wheel, you have 2 meaty shift paddles. They feel really high quality and nice to the touch. If you want to drive this car in manual mode, which I suggest you do at all times, it's extremely fun. Now the instrument cluster is fully digital and configurable as well, what you would come to expect in this vehicle. So I love how the technology has truly been incorporated into this car. It just feels like it's taken the C8 to a whole new level compared to Corvettes of the past. Taking a look at the door panels, it's covered in that smooth black leather. And then again, you have that natural leather breaking up the black. I really like the way the door panels look with the black leather, the aluminum finish for your Bose audio system, and then the natural leather provides great contrast. Now, of course, you have contrast stitching, 2-position memory for your seats, buttons to control your windows, and your retractable top, and the wind deflector back there as well. Coming lower in the door panel, you have your unlock and lock button, and then there's a little bit of storage on the bottom of the door, but let's be frank, that's not what people are really buying this car for. Now let's go ahead and get this Corvette out on the street and see how it rides. All right, so we got the C8 out on the street finally. Before we get started, I want to ask you guys to make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. But this is truly the fun part. This is an amazing ride. First of all, I'm really impressed with how smooth this vehicle handles on just a basic residential street for what it's capable of. So of course, we have the top down. It's a little cold outside,
It is.
so bear with us, but it's only right to do a review of this vehicle with the top down for sure. All right, so Isha, this is your first experience in a Corvette, I think, in general. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it is. I like it.
You like it?
I mean, it's a sports car,
Right.
You know, and the typical features that you find in a sports car, they have it in it.
Yep.
You know, low to the ground, aggressive sound, aggressive angles and styling from
Yep.
the outside to the inside. Some of it is totally over-exaggerated.
Yes, some of it's overstyled.
But that's what you get in a sports car.
Right, right.
So,
I
you
love
know,
this
kudos Corvette.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. I've been driving it in comfort mode. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in sport
Of
mode.
course you are.
That's
Of course.
It'd be disrespectful if I didn't.
Okay. So
Right.
that means I need to hold on.
Right. So I think the steering is a little too light in comfort mode. I like it in this sport mode, and then I will go ahead and push the manual button here,
Let me go
so I
ahead
can
and
shift
hold on.
manually. And you can hear the car breathe a little bit more. So with the Z51 package, you get this performance exhaust system that kind of takes things up a notch-ish. So it really just makes this car sound amazing. All right, so let's grab some gears real quick.
Ooh! But you know what? That transition was smooth.
Yeah, the
Oh my
shifting
gosh.
is smooth. I mean, this dual clutch transmission is on point.
That was smooth.
It's really smooth.
You like scared the people walking.
So the handling on this vehicle is amazing. It is truly amazing.
It ought to be.
So, Isha, most of the cars that we've driven like this have cost like $300,000.
Yeah, and it's giving me serious, motion sickness.
But this car starts at a base price of less than $60,000. So what makes Corvette special is the fact that almost anybody can have
get it.
one, right? It makes having that exotic car experience a little bit more accessible. Now, I'm not saying this is the same thing as a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lamborghini. Of course,
You have to drop the beat in here. A Ferrari, a Jaguar.
switching four
Okay,
lanes.
sorry.
So, of course, this is not the same thing as cars on that magnitude, but it's close. It closes the gap that much more. I mean, we got people waving to us with this thing. I mean, everybody pays attention when you drive this car.
Yeah, I had a couple of friends ask me, whoa, what is that in the background of your picture on Facebook?
Right.
I had to go to this guy and be like, let me get these specs right. Oh my gosh!
You got people on the street screaming Corvette, and that's
Oh
something.
my God! Oh my
Right.
gosh!
That's something that typically was never done before.
Oh my goodness!
Let me tell you guys a quick story. Growing up, I loved the Dodge Viper, right? I liked the Corvette, but I loved the Viper because whenever you saw a Viper, you remember what you were doing, what you were wearing when you saw one, because it was almost an event. And Corvette has come a long way because obviously the C8 is giving people that same sensation. Those kids we just passed, they're
yeah.
going to remember.
Yeah,
When
that
they
little
saw-
boy was real excited.
I mean, it was just jumping, yelling,
Oh my
Corvette,
God.
Corvette.
I wish you guys could have saw that.
Right. I mean, they might have. I hope this GoPro captured
Oh,
it.
it might have caught it. Okay.
So I hope that GoPro captured it, but what a sensation that this car brings people. And this one is $83,000 or close to $84,000 or so. That's cheaper than the Escalade, which was $107.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of people are saying, well, $84,000 is still a lot of money. But if you wait a while, you wait a couple of years, you might be able to pick one of these up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's under 100,000. You're getting the sport, look and feel, the aggressive sound. I mean, look, people are just.
it makes you feel like a superhero while you're driving it.
And it is a nice vehicle.
It's a very nice vehicle.
It does not look like the other things that are on the road.
Right.
So you know that you're really in I kind of like that for the very first time.
I mean, this car makes you feel so alive. The soundtrack is just amazing. Yeah, it makes me want to shift for no reason. Let me downshift again.
there somebody behind you?
Nope. If they were, they aren't now. I mean, this thing is so quick. It's not even funny. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That performance for this price, I can't stress that enough. So what do you think about the interior quality?
I think it's nice. I think it's a bit much.
Think it's a bit overstyled?
Yeah, just because it has like 2 layers of, I don't know what that's called. You guys know what I'm saying here, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, it's nice.
Do you feel left out at all because I have this
wall?
I
do. I mean, but I feel like I'm in something that's futuristic.
Right.
And I think that's what sports cars are supposed to make you feel like.
Yes.
You know? I mean, like the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis that we have been in all have some sort of design aesthetic that's overdone.
Right. But the fact that you're able to even compare a Ferrari or Lamborghini to this speaks volumes on how well Chevy did with this vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
I mean, the quality is nice, and like he said, it's under $100,000, so the materials aren't going to be of something that's $300,000.
Well, right. Yeah, of course, your materials, everything's not going to be decked out in carbon fiber, but you have to pay for stuff like that.
But you said
that's
that
fine.
may be a good thing too.
Well, yeah, for like the splitter in the front.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive that it's not carbon fiber, because if you hit something with that, I'm sorry.
It's really expensive. Now, it's different if it's on the inside.
Yeah, if it's on the inside, it's different. So I think they did an astounding job with this vehicle, and I can't wait to see the higher performance.
Now you need a downshift and just go for it.
All right.
Uh-oh. You hear that growl?
Oh, yeah. Let me do it from standstill here.
No. Oh my God. That's it. You don't need to do that ever again.
So they're coming out with higher performance levels of this vehicle. So
higher performance?
Higher performance. So this is going to be like the base model. So there's going to be a
Really?
Z6, there's going to be a ZR1, and during the review, you guys might have noticed I said this is heavier than the outgoing C7. So I think with the higher performance models, Chevy's going to focus on taking away some of the weight, right? There's opportunities for a lot of weight reduction here, and it's easier to make a car go faster by removing weight as opposed to adding power. Now, I'm sure they're going to be doing both, but that weight reduction is really going to help with the handling with this car, as if it needs it. It really doesn't, but you get one of these guys, you're going to be satisfied with the performance just fine. But I am truly excited to see what else GM is going to do with this Corvette C8. It's just, they knocked it out of the park with this one. They really have.
I literally saw my life flash before my eyes a minute ago.
Hey, you told me to.
I did, but...
So Isha, any closing thoughts on this one?
I love it. I really do. I don't have any bad thoughts about it. It's a great vehicle.
It's a fantastic machine.
It is. It really is, and I'm very proud of Corvette. I feel like this vehicle will kind of allow, some entry level people who want to get a sports car to get this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this is a vehicle that truly makes you proud to be an American. This is right here. You're getting this right here in your own.
Yeah.
In your own country.
Right.
They're putting out stuff like this, and that is not something that could have always been said. So this is a precision track machine that can be taken to work on the daily, can be taken to tracks on the weekends, or you could even take a long road trip in something like this, because you have the frunk and then you have storage capacity behind the power plant as well. Now, before we close out, I will mention that I did open the trunk that's right behind the engine. It gets a little warm in there, guys. All right? So if you got a hot meatball sandwich, you can stuff that back there. But overall, that's my thoughts on this amazing vehicle. Isha, I want to thank you for joining us. with the test drive in this cold weather with the top down.
Because you guys know I don't like the cold. So I did this one for you guys.
All right, we'll leave it off there. Thank you.
All right.
That was a brief overview of this 2020 Corvette Stingray convertible. What an amazing piece of engineering. This is a beautiful vehicle, and the performance figures are stunning with that 0 to 60 time of just 2.9 seconds. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves.